This is my 2010 GMC Terrain, my daily driver. This is a 3.0 V6 SLT model front wheel drive. As far as tools we need a hose clamp plier set. We need hose clamps themselves to reduce leakage of fluid. We need a 10mm ratcheting wrench. These tools are basically essential to getting this done. You could use a socket for a couple of bolts, but I'm going to suggest you get the ratcheting wrench because it makes a huge difference in quality of life doing this job. We're going to begin this process by clamping off the hoses. This will reduce lost fluid and make less of a mess in general, as this is over top of the transmission. There's going to be a pretty good sized pool of fluid on top of that transmission. Next up, we're going to use the hose clamp pliers to back off the hose clamps. This allows us to pull all of the hoses off of the housing. With the hoses removed from the housing, we can then use a 10mm ratchet to remove the 3 bolts from the housing. My biggest advice here is going to be go ahead and take a piece of cardboard, put holes in it where the locations of these bolts are, as all these bolts are specific tapers and sizes. Now that the housing is removed from the engine, we can now go ahead and use a clamp and the supplied extra heavy duty toilet paper tube to remove this from the housing. Next up, we're going to replace that thermostat back into the housing. In order to do this, we're going to take that same clamp and tube, clamp it down together. There's little tabs and wings. Then you go underneath a little locking spot in the housing. Once that's done, release that clamp. Next up, we're going to stick the gasket to the block. This is one sticky side that goes towards the block. Here, you can use the bolts to align that to make the job super simple and easy. Next up, we're going to put the bolts in the housing and then put the housing on. Now, the bottom bolt can be kind of hard to get in if the housing's already on, so this makes the job significantly easier. Then replace the hoses, the clamps, lost fluid, and pray there's no leaks. But overall, it's not a bad job if you have the right tools. Without the right tools, the job kind of sucks. So the link is in the description down below for all the tools that you're going to need after this. Have a good one, guys, and I will see you Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Live.